Hello everyone and welcome to Yoshi 1 Kenobi's Kasmina Enigma Sage deck. In this deck we play Kasmina, the Enigma Sage, which has a bunch of abilities. And all of those are going to be quite relevant in this deck. So first off, her passive. Each planeswalker you control has the loyalty abilities of Kasmina. Alright. Then she has a +2, which allows you to scry 1. Bad ability, but the +2 is actually quite good. Then we get a -X, which allows us to put a XX fractal on the battlefield, essentially. And -8, search your library for an instant or sorcery that has some green or some blue, and you get to cast it for free. So the idea is you play Kasmina early, you take her up very fast, and then you get an ultimate. What's her ultimate target? Alrund's Epiphany. Take an extra turn. Alright, but before we get to that, let's go on with the best synergy with this deck, and that is to play Teferi, Master of Time. Why? Because Teferi has a passive that synergizes greatly with Kasmina. It says you may activate Loyalty of Teferi on any player's turn, and at any time you can cast an instant. Normally you just get a +1 during your turn, +1 during your opponent's turn, which essentially gives your Teferi a +2. But when you have Kasmina in play, you actually get a +2 on your turn, and +2 on the opponent's turn. So you get to tick up Teferi a 4 loyalty counter every turn. Well, every turn cycle. You also get to use Kasmina's minus ability during your turn and your opponent's turn to summon 1/1s if in a pinch to defend yourself. And you also have the phase out, that's typical of Master of Time, and the ultimate, which allows you to take 2 extra turns, which is quite reachable when you have Kasmina in play. And you also get to -8 to take 1 extra turn by playing that Alrund's Epiphany from your deck for free. So you play him 1 turn, and then next turn he's on 7 if you have Kasmina in play, and then next turn cycle he's to 11 and you take 2 extra turns. It just gets pretty ridiculous pretty fast. So the theme of the deck is to take extra turns. So we're playing Alrund's Epiphanies and Discontinuity, as they essentially give you extra turns. And as we've seen the Strixhaven Stadium deck, Strixhaven Stadium works wonders with Alrund's Epiphany. It's going to allow us to ramp up to our big Time Warp spells, ramp up to allow us to play our Planeswalkers, and with 2 or 3 extra turn spells or Planeswalker ability, we can just win the game on the spot with Strixhaven Stadium. So that's our win condition. The rest allows us to stay alive, so Brazen Borrower allows us to bounce our opponent's creatures, also a 3/1 flyer when you're getting a bunch of extra turns, quite relevant. Gilded Goose is ramp, allows us to play the fabled turn 2 Kasmina Enigma Sage. Overgrown Arc is actually quite impressive. A 0/4 blocker is hard for mono red to deal with. Also, you gain life every turn, and you get to sacrifice it to have access to any of these wonderful cards from the sideboard. Or, if you really want, you can just discard a card, draw a card, getting closer to those Time Warps. Brazen Borrower is good defense, we've went over that. Quandrix Cultivator, it's a body as a shield that also ramps you up towards those big spells. Not to mention that Kasmina and Teferi both help you dig with the Scry 1. The Scry 1 and the draw card, discard a card, you get to see a lot of cards from your library, and you'll get that Strixhaven Stadium with a pair of Time Warping cards, and you'll just end the game. And that's the idea. We fill in our sideboard with a bunch of learning cards because of our Overgrown Arc, and we're ready to take it to the games. And let's see just how awesome the games can be when we're playing Kasmina the Enigma Sage, teaching the Master of Time some cool tricks. We are playing Kasmina the Enigma Sage on MTG Arena Standard against an opponent. This is not a good hand, but we'll keep it. Go Goose! If we could find Planeswalkers, that's what we're looking for. One Love Strike Beasts. We get to play the Arc. Because why not? The Arc will allow us to gain a bit of life. Points on mono green? Yeah, looks like mono green. Oh, you keep on finding lands. Where there's lands, there's hope. think I'm gonna want environmental science this one. So I'll keep the arc intact. The opponent will cast the Love Struck Beast. As well as a token. Nothing like bells to complement a Love Struck Beast. You have a bit of time walking to do with extra turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gain a life and learn. Yeah, let's go for the environmental science. We do top deck the land naturally. We'll use the sciences to fetch our land for next turn. So we get a foretell Alrund's Epiphany. Or minimize a lot of damage using the Brazen Borrower. Yeah, I think we'll want to minimize the damage. Avoid getting pummeled by that Love Struck Beast looking at us. Well, smelling a rose. One cast another Love Struck Beast. Ooh! Opponent has red mana. Opponent attacks with a Love Struck Beast. As well as a pair of 1/1s. We will log the 1/1s. And we'll bounce the beast. Bounce the beast. Bounce the beast. No hexproof, please. Alright. All damage has been mitigated. And we're sitting pretty at 23. Opponent bells again. As turn passes back to us, and we find another Alrund's Epiphany. Now this is interesting. I think we want to foretell an Alrund's Epiphany. Flash into Brazen Borrower. And with all our time walks, I think we'll be able to just kill our opponent with Brazen Borrower. You'll take the beast. 5 to the face. More Love Struck Beasting. So I'll flash into Brazen Borrower. Do need a land next 2 turns though. Ooh, opponent crushes it. That's not good. That destroys our game plan. Alright, Master of Time. I think we want to go to Teferi. Draw this card. That's a tough decision. I do want Kasmina. Opponent really wants the Teferi to die. We can offer the Gilded Geese to keep the Teferi alive. Barely, but surely alive.
Too fast.
Essica's Chariot. That's a lot of creatures though. So we cannot Alrund's Epiphany, though we can plus the Teferi, which we'll need to do.
Ideas, like seconds, are fleeting.
Discarding the Goose. Play the Cultivator. Which will fetch a blue source. Foretell the other Alrund's Epiphany. And I'll pass the turn back. It's too bad. If we would have gotten Teferi a little earlier with Kasmina, could have had the super wombo combo. One cruise the chariot, make a ton of cats. We could just go face with everything. Oh, plus the ferry.
Don't worry, I'll think of something.
Stadium. Five, 10, 14, 16, 18. I need Black Love Strike Beast and I'll live with one, I think. Then we get to keep the ferry. Four, 5, 6. Have the
Think
plus.
fast.
Discard the island. Play the backwater channel. Alrund's Epiphany. Starts with this. Find a goose. Leaves us with one mana open. Well, we'll need Alrund's Epiphany. I want to plus the Fury again.
Ideas, like seconds, are fleeting.
Discard the land. Alrund's Epiphany. Take another turn. Play the goose. You don't have anything with reach, so this attack will go through. Brazen Borrower. Can make a wall of small creatures with Kasmina. With Kasmina and Teferi. I don't think that's enough though. Can -1 Kasmina. Make a small blocker, -1 Kasmina Teferi. Make a small blocker. No attacks past the turn. We can also crack 2 food. So I think we're still alive here. As long as the opponent doesn't have Embercleave. Although we still have the Fairy to deal with the Embercleave and the Brazen Borrower. Opponent attacks. A lot of very strong attackers here. I can block the clone, so I'm jumping these 4. Then I'm taking 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I need to jump 5. Let's petty theft that 2/2, so our opponent has fewer creatures for next turn. That's because Chariot doesn't clone anything. Fast the blockers. Well, jump, 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 jump. Free block. We keep a bird. Block. Put Embercleaves. Crack food. We need to top deck a Discontinuity. Embercleave resolves. Equips the Bone Crusher Giant. Bone Crusher Giant will phase out of time. And we will live. for a turn. Now I want to scry with the Teferi. That's the one scry to rule them all. Ooh, and it is the discontinuity. Alright.
There's still time for my plan.
That is exactly what we needed. Move to main phase. Scry with Kasmina. We need to find another discontinuity. This is ridiculous.
Consider all possibilities.
This is awesome. Hit you with the birds. Alright. Has the turn. With a breakpoint on our opponent's draw step. We're going to scry. And +2 at our Teferi Master of Time. Scry to the top. And then we are going to end the turn. Not letting you do anything else. Then we're going to draw our next discontinuity. We're going to scry one with the Teferi. Picking up yet again. Scry to the bottom. It's not what we're looking for. Gonna scry more with the Kasmina. Overgrown Arc. Not what we're looking for. We're still a little short. We need to find another one. Hit you with the birds. Pass the turn. +2 to Teferi. Scrying again. Brazen Borrower. We get a Brazen Borrower, whatever is Ember Cleaved. We get to make a bunch of tokens. Is Brazen Borrower good enough? Might be all we have. I think it's just good enough. I'll leave that there. All discontinuity. Ending the turn yet again. Alright, we find a Brazen Borrower. Kasmina's gonna have to put
reality could use some revisions.
A 1/1 on battlefield. Oh, actually, there's another route. There's another route. We can use Kasmina's ultimate off of the Teferi. To find another Alrund's Epiphany. We cast it.
When the time is right, deal a
we flash in a pair of Brazen Borrowers, and we have a lethal attack in the air. And we get it! Whew. That double top deck of discontinuity and getting Teferi to use all of Kasmina's ability gets us through an almost unwinnable situation. And that's how it's done. We are playing Kasmina Enigma Sage on MTG Arena Standard against our opponent. Vihan 99. Alright, 3 lands, Stadium, Teferi, Alrund's Epiphany. Can't ask for much better than this, short of a Goose into Kasmina. And then Teferi. Oh, let's see if we can find a Kasmina. A land's probably good. I'm not sure, I already have 2 in hand. We're on play. There's an argument for cycling the land and trying to hit some other type of action, but we already have a ton of action in our hand. We go Forest. And foretell Alrund's Epiphany. As we pass the turn back. Opponent's playing Gruul aggro or Temur. Probably Gruul. Temur doesn't typically go for the Rimrock Knights. So I'll open up with the Stadium. Get that crowd cheering. And pass the turn back. Magda. The Brazen Outlaw. With a dwarf in play, that thing is gonna be painful. Alright, swinging for 5. We will take the 5 points of damage, lose the counter, make a counter, and take the turn back. So we draw another copy of Brazen Borrower. Alright, in this spot, I'm pretty sure we want to play the Quandrix Cultivator. Fetching a forest. Actually, most of our stuff's blue, so fetching an island. And I'll pass the turn back. Putting a stop at our opponent's combat phase to instantly thieve Magda. That looks like a thief, and it's a Brazen Outlaw, so we'll be petty thieving from outlaws. Okay. We can do that. Making treasures without attacking. Thanks to Jasper Sentinel. I didn't see that coming, even though I'm playing blue. And blue's supposed to see that coming. Alright, can't block this. Opponent attacks with the Rimrock Knight as well as the Goldspan Dragon. Well, you have so many treasures. I'm gonna petty theft the Goldspan Dragon. You can have more treasures. Not enough to Embercleave, and we'll trade with the Rimrock Knight. Stadium is at 2. Alright. So our opponent has a Goldspan Dragon, but we have enough mana to Teferi and Brazen Borrower. So we're going to go for that. Teferi, Master of Time. Then we'll plus Teferi, discard a Cultivator, and end the turn. If we can find a second Time Warp, then we'll probably win the game. Goldspan Dragon. I'll let you attack. I'll bounce you back, Goldspan Dragon. You get a 4th treasure. Actually, you get 5 treasures. 6. So you'll be able to replay that Goldspan Dragon, if you so desire. Teferi will take a little bit of a beating. That's okay.
My defense had an imperfection.
Opponent's tapped out, but still has access to 7 mana. Something that you don't see that often. Our opponent also has the ability to just activate Magda to get a dragon card onto the library. Opponent tries to stomp on Teferi, forcing us to plus. We'll lose Kasmina, which is quite unfortunate. And we'll draw an Arc. Arc's not what we're looking for, so we'll plus. Draw a card, that's even worse. Discarding the card. Alrund's Epiphany. It gets our stadium to 4 with 2 birds. They still have 2 draw steps to try and find another Alrund's Epiphany or Discontinuity, which will do almost as well.
I do love a good puzzle.
Discard the Arc. Opponent has the ability to just make a dragon right now. Yeah, there's no point in attacking. I'll let the opponent make the dragon. And I'll use Discontinuity at an opportunistic time during your opponent's step. Alright, that is fine. You may have a gold span dragon. When attempts to cast a gold span dragon, we will activate the Teferi.
Don't worry, I'll think of something.
Just to tick up, and then we'll stop the turn. We'll have none of that. No treasure, no shenanigans. As we'll keep on ticking up our Teferi, Master of Time. Finding stuff that we don't really need. Alright. On that, we can hit for the bird, but that's not quite enough. So I think we just pass the turn here. See what we can find using our Master of Time. We've already used 2 time warps. Opponent moves to combat. Opponent will make a treasure. And the attack's not going at Teferi, so I'm going to plus Teferi.
Love a good puzzle.
Forest is not what we're looking for. You may have that treasure token. No blocks. Also, it's worth noting that Jasper Sentinel has reach, so attacking with the birds doesn't do very much. So that means it's going to be 10. If the opponent has a Rimrock Knight, we'll be dead on board, won't we? Embercleave resolves. Alright. Opponent doesn't have it. It's going to remove a few ticks from our Strixhaven Stadium deck. Thanks to that 1/1 attacking. Probably should have kept the Teferi with the ability to phase out the gold span dragon. You may have a second treasure token. We're down to 3, but the Jasper Sentinel is now tapped. When plays another gold span dragon, as we'll flash in our pair of brazen bars. Ooh, drawing a brazen bar is pretty good. Well, plus the Teferi. Discontinuity is really good. Actually, I don't think we want to give you mana. You can take the stadium. That's not enough. We'll get in for 3, 7. Alright, well, we'll bounce the gold span dragon. Get a clean attack in. pass the turn, and before opponent gets to draw, plus the Teferi.
Think fast.
That's sad. And we'll stop the turn. Now we only need to connect with one of the flyers. And we have the Teferi, which allows us to phase out our opponent. Opponent creates an extra treasure token. You have 2 burn spells. No, you do not. And you lose in the face of the Teferi, Master of Time, winning the game of Strixhaven. Whatever the name of the game is. Mage Tower. Winning the game of Mage Tower. We are playing Kasmina, Enigma Sage on MTG Arena Standard against a Clockwork Wizard. Always on time. Always ready to get beaten by extra turns and Teferi, who is the Master of Time. And the Master of Time will just destroy this Clockwork Wizard. Opponent's playing a Giganta. I was gonna say Ragdos Sacrifice, but considering that our opponent didn't play any land that's Ragdos, but really more Selesnya, I'm going to change my decision. Assume that you're playing Naya. Alright. Naya, a bunch of cheap spells with Showdowns of the Scalds. That'll be my guess for now, until proven otherwise. Season Hollow Blade opens up the battlefield. We'll bounce it back using Petty Theft. Because we can. Ooh, and we get Kasmina. Let's go, Kasmina. Scry.
The ember that ignites an inferno.
A land is what I'm looking for.
There's still time for my plans.
I'll leave that on top. Opponent replays the seasoned Hollowblade. We draw the land, play the land, play the Teferi, the Master of Time. The Teferi will make you plant. Or do I just want to take up the ultimate? I probably just want to take up the ultimate. Scry 1 with Teferi. No, I do not want to back up Kasmina. Kasmina will scry. Sure, that's probably good enough.
The future is
I'll pass the
not
turn
yet
back.
decided.
Ideally, if you could draw a land, it'd be great. Opponent attacks the Teferi. The Teferi will make you 1/1 to defend himself.
Reality could use some...
Because we can do that now. Yoink. The Teferi has now learned to make fractals. That's what happened when you go to Strixhaven, the School of Mages. Even the Master of Time can learn some tricks. Forcing our opponent to discard a card. Opponent found a land. But we're going to completely pummel our opponent. Now that we have the Teferi Kasmina combo, we can even play pair of stadiums. Although I think I'd rather play a stadium, hold back the Brazen Borrower. That's +2 at the Teferi. Goose is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for more time warps.
Focus on the future.
Kasmina will give me one. Yeah, I think I can make use of the island.
Consider all possibilities.
And I'll pass the turn back. Runeforge champion. Okay, Runeforge combo. That's a thing. If you get time to play it. Unfortunately, I don't think you're going to get much time playing against me. Alright, Rune of Speed on the Runeforge champion. Do you want to phase it out? That's the question. I think we want to phase it out. I don't want you to draw a card. Of course, Teferi also knows his usual tricks. I just don't want our opponent to start comboing with the Transcendent Envoy and the Hallowblade. Now, do we lose Teferi to this? I think we do. Because I can't activate Kasmina at instant speed. So maybe I shouldn't have done this. We'll get ultimate with Kasmina. So we do get an invasion of birds. That's what we want. That's probably what we want. So I think I messed it up. Invasion of birds.
One last lesson.
Might as well play the second copy of the stadium, because we can. Pass the turn. We get another turn, we play the goose. Because that's what we have. Make some food. Hit you in the air for 2. Pass the turn back. Nicely, no. Who needs counter magic when you can end the turn? Brazen Borrowers, pretty nice addition to our already deadly combination of 2 birds. Ticking up, ticking up. Pass the turn back. Can't let you do that, Star Fox. I just don't want you to draw cards. I'd much rather just kill you in the air with our Strixhaven Stadium. Mage Tower's just so fun. Alright, you may have a Rune of Speed. I'm out of tricks. And you're out of mana. Opponent swings, no blocks. And that is it. Flash into Brazen Borrower, cash into food, and opponent resigns. Can even get in with the goose, because why not? Stadium victory yet again on MTG Arena Standard, using our Planeswalker combination. We are playing Kasmina, the Enigma Sage, teaching Teferi, Master of Time, against Otaru, opponent. Playing Karn, except Karn's not legal. We will keep this. Draft Time Walks and a Gilded Goose. We'll go searching with our Temple of Mystery. Actually, we might just play Goose, hope to top deck Kasmina. I'm not sure. Which one should we do? Let's go Temple. Oof, dodged a bullet there. Actually, it's beautiful forest. Or an open tidal wave. Whichever. Same thing as a bullet, because we did not want that 5th land right now. Let's see what our opponent's playing. Once on mono red. Surprise, surprise. Alright, well then we'll play the Arc. And now you're blocked. For days with our 0-4 defender that gains life. How does that feel, mono red? How does that feel? Are you gonna frostbite my Arc? The classic do nothing. Alright, well Goose is gonna get blown out by a Bone Crusher Giant. So let's force our opponent to do something else. There's no real reason to play the Goose right now. So I'll just foretell Alrund's Epiphany, let our opponent Bone Crusher face, or keep it in hand. Faceless Haven. Anax hardened in the forge. Still stonewalling you. Well, grass walling you. Quandrix's Cultivator. I like this. Blue side. Let's go fetch some green source. Forest untapped into Gilded Goose. Let's see the turn back. 3 time warps. There has to be something good we can do with this. One's gonna double Bone Crush the Cultivator. Or Bone Crush Frostbite. Same thing. Fervent Champion's gonna add enough devotion for Anax to bypass the Overgrown Arc. We still get a block too. Gain a life. Mitigate that damage. Another Alrund's Epiphany. So you could Alrund's Epiphany now. Doesn't seem like a bad move. It's gonna add a bit of pressure, give us an extra card, and we just have so many Alrund's Epiphanies. Oh yes, we do want to gain 1 life. Yoink. Another Alrund's Epiphany. Now this is getting a little ridiculous. Let's foretell. Foretell. At this rate, we might just be able to kill our opponent with birds and just raw damage. We can find a land. Another copy of Fabled Passage. We're also running out of time, especially if the opponent has Embercleave or Torbran. I'll block this way. Goodbye, Goose. You have served us well. Top deck Kasmina. Kasmina is not what we're looking for. Oh, we can Kasmina anyways. Scry, try and find a land. An untap land.
Because I am.
That's too many.
Consider all possibilities.
Alright. Now if we hit a land, we can time walk our way out of this. Are we blocking with birds? That's the question. Let's keep 1 for blocks. But I don't think we can beat Embercleave. Embercleave on Anax is just too much damage. Okay, there's no Embercleave. I don't think. Seems like Faceless Haven, Bone Crusher Giant. Robber of the Rich. It's a lot of damage. Opponent exiles Temple Mystery, which would not have helped us. Oh, I need to mitigate damage, so that's 4, 8, plus 6, 14. We'll live. We have a game on life. And learn. Let's see, if we get a turn back, we get Alrund's Epiphany, swing for 1. Alrund's Epiphany, swing for 3. Discontinuity. That's not enough. We do need to cast both discontinuities. Let's go with Environmental Sciences. I don't think we can afford to cast it. Teferi, Master of Time. Maybe. Just maybe. We gain 2 life. Find the island. We cast Teferi. Teferi is a Kasmina.
Let's make this quick.
Teferi can make a 1/1.
The laws of reality could use some...
Kasmina can make you 1/1.
Everything is under control.
We will not attack, and we will pass the turn back. Opponent activates Faceless Haven. It's one attacker too many. Opponent finds a Teferi. Did we get the -1 Teferi again?
This
Make
is
another
merely
1/1.
a fraction of my power.
But we only have 4 blockers. And because of Torbrand, that's just a little too much damage. Even if we minimize everything, we still take 6. We got close. Real close. And the opponent knows nothing about it. Opponent doesn't know that we have 6 time walks. And with Teferi and Kasmina, that means if we get Ultimate Teferi for an extra 2 turns, we get to poke you with birds. Alright, well that was close. Even though it didn't seem like it. We are playing Kasmina Enigma Sage against Frodo X on MTG Arena Standard. This is subpar, but we'll keep. Do have a goose, with the hopes of top decking Kasmina. Discontinuity, not what we're looking for. Maybe this hand is defensive enough against mono red, with the Arc and the Cultivator. We'll see. On the draw it's pretty rough. Opponent shocks the goose, not giving us the chance to prove its effectiveness. As we draw another goose. That will play the Overgrown Arc. Fervent Chevian with an armored horse and a flaming sword against a big plant. And the big plant wins! Temple of Mystery. Let's see what we can scry. Quandrix Cultivator. Why not? Let's foretell Alrund's Epiphany. I just love casting this thing on 6 and pass the turn back. As the opponent is stuck in the face of our wall. Let's use a big burn spell and we still gain a life. Sling Fire. Swings at us for 1. As we get to cast our Quandrix Cultivator. Fetching an island. Opponent slays our Cultivator as well. Swings for 1. We get to play our Strixhaven Stadium, as well as a Gilded Goose, as we pass the turn over. With the extra turns, that might just be enough. Robber of the Witch. Now this is a bit more annoying. Opponent shocks the goose. Can crack food for 3 life. Yeah, sure, you may have the goose. Hit us. Lose a counter. Hit us. We lose a counter. Oops. Well, really wanted to crack the food there. Well, let's go, Cultivator. And the pair of Alrund's Epiphany should be game at this point. When mono red fizzles like that, you just win the game. Good game, opponent. Oh, but what you don't know is that I'm saying good game because you're dead. Might as well crack this, gain some life. Take another turn. My turn again. And you're dead. And that's how you kill mono red. Just relentlessly use Stadium and ping them with birds. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe. It won't cost you any mana, and it greatly helps to support this channel and keep the awesome videos coming. Until next time, may the fun be with you.